Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all our respected parents, educators, academic leaders, and well-wishers joining us today. On behalf of Rockwoods International School and Rockwoods Junior College, I extend my heartfelt greetings to each one of you. The enriching session of the Rockwoods Webinar series conducted every Wednesday and Saturday to bring meaningful, insightful, and transformative learning experiences to parents, students, and educators. Today, we are delighted to present a session on a topic that lies at the very heart of a child's growth and development. From dependence to identity, a child's psychological journey. Every child embarks on a remarkable journey from complete dependence in early childhood to developing an independent identity as they grow. This journey is shaped not only by academics but also by relationships, emotions, values, experiences, and the support systems surrounding them. Actually, understanding a child's psychosocial development enables parents and educators to nurture confidence, resilience, empathy, and a healthy sense of self. In today's rapidly changing world, helping children discover who they are is perhaps one of the most important responsibilities we share. So, today's session promises to provide valuable insights into the emotional, social, and psychological milestones that children experience and practical ways through which adults can guide them towards becoming confident, compassionate, and self aware individuals. We we are certain that this webinar will offer meaningful takeaways for every parent, teacher, and educator joining us this evening. Now, it is my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar, Ms. Subhakanchi Priyadarshini. Ms. Subhakanchi Priyadarshini currently serves as the Central Office Coordinator at Rockwoods International School. She holds a Master of Science degree and a Master of Education, reflecting her strong academic foundation and commitment to educational excellence. With a deep understanding of psychology, she believes that true education extends far beyond academic achievement. Her passion lies in supporting children through their emotional, social, and psychological growth, helping them develop self confidence, resilience, and a positive identity. She strongly advocates creating learning environments where children feel valued, understood, and empowered to discover their unique strengths. Today, fascinating stages of psychosocial development and help us understand how parents can work together to nurture a child's journey from dependence to self-identity. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Ms. Subhakanchi Priyadarshini. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm audible to everyone? Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to all of you. Today, we are going to talk about something that every one of us experiences, whether we are a child, a parent, a teacher, or even an adult. So, the topic of today's seminar is From Dependence to Identity, a child's psychosocial journey. So, before we begin, I would like to ask you all a few questions. Okay, have you ever wondered why some children are very confident while others hesitate to answer? Why do some children become independent at a very young age while others depend on others for even very a small task? Why do teenagers suddenly start asking questions like who am I or what do you want to become? So these questions are beautifully answered by Erik Erickson's theory. This theory helps us understand not only how children grow physically, but also how they grow emotionally, socially, and psychologically. By the end of the session, I hope each one of us, whether parents, teacher, or educator, will understand how we can support children's overall development. So, let us first know who Erik Erikson was. Erik Erikson was a developmental psychologist who believed that our responsibility and our personality develops throughout our entire life. Unlike many psychologists who believe development ends during childhood, Erikson said that learning and development continues from birth until old age. According to him, every stage of life brings a challenge or what he called a psychosocial crisis. So don't worry about that word crisis, because it doesn't mean any kind of disaster. It simply means a challenge or a turning point. If we successfully over that challenge, we develop a positive quality. And if not, then we may struggle in that area later in life, I guess in the whole life. So, for example, if a child receives love and care during infancy, the child develops trust. If not, insecurity may develop. So that is why Erikson believed every stage is important. As educators, this theory reminds us that education is not only about marks, it is about shaping confident, emotionally healthy individuals. In the next slide that we can see, these are the all stages of development. These are 8 stages. The first stage is trust versus mistrust. It occurs from the birth to 18 month. Then the second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. It occurs from 1.5 years to 3 years. Then initiative versus guilt, that is from 3 to 5 years. Industry versus inferiority, that is from 6 to 12 years. Identity versus confusion, that is from 12 years to 8 years. Intimacy versus isolation, that is from 18 to 40 years. Generativity versus stagnation, that is from 40 years to 65 years. And finally, integrity versus despair, that is it occurs in the people having 65 plus years. So although there are 8 stages, today we will mainly focus on the stages that are directly connected with school education. Okay, notice one important sentence written here, that is, each stage builds on the last. Imagine constructing a building. If the foundation is weak, the upper floors becomes unstable. Uh, so similarly, if children doesn't develop trust, confidence, independence, or competence during the early years, later these stages becomes more difficult. This is why parents and teachers play such an important role. Education begins much before textbook. It begins with relationships. So now let us discuss the first 2 stages. The first stage is trust versus mistrust. So the child's biggest question is, after birth, can I trust the world? Because the baby cannot speak. The baby communicates through crying. Whether it he or she feel hungry or angry or any pain, he just cry. So when parents respond with love, food, warmth, and care, the child learns that the world is safe. This develops trust. If we'll talk about the second stage, that is autonomy versus shame and doubt, the child begins with saying, I can do it by myself. No, Papa, no, Mama, I can do it by myself. Sometimes they wear shoes incorrectly, sometimes they spill food, sometimes they make mistakes. Instead of scolding them immediately, we should encourage them, because mistakes are a part of learning. Talking about educational atmosphere, even in the schools, children need opportunity to become independent. For example, instead of doing every activity for them, the teachers can allow students to arrange materials, pack their bags, distribute notebooks, or solve problems independently. Because this small opportunity builds confidence in them. Here in this slide, we can say that is the stage calling initiative versus industry. So now children enter in preschool and primary school. This is where curiosity becomes very important. Children ask endless questions. Why the sky is blue? Why do stars shine? Why should I study? Why the salt is tasting like salty? Why the sugar is very sweet when they are both resemblance the same? So as adults, instead of saying, don't ask so many questions, we should appreciate their curiosity, because curiosity is the beginning of learning. I want to ask a question. Do you know what number of questions a child do ask in a day? Okay, you will be surprised by knowing the answer, because it is up to 300 to 500. When for average person, for average adult person, it is up to 250 to 260. So whether they are making, whether we are making them competent to take the initiative or not, it totally depends on us. And if it is controlled or criticized, then it helps in development of guilt in the child's mind. And the next stage is industry versus inferiority. Sorry. Yes. In this stage, it is an extremely important stage in the schools. Here, children begin comparing themselves with classmates. They start socializing with the students, with the teachers, with their peers. So they start comparing themselves with their classmate by who score more marks, who runs faster, who draws better, who looks good. So if children receive encouragement, they develop competency. If they constantly hear you are not that much good, you are not good enough, they develop feeling of inferiority. Talking about educational importance, as teachers, our role is not to compare children. Our role is to identify every children's strength. One child may be excellent in mathematics, another may be in artist, another may be an excellent speaker. So success should never be measured only through examination marks. Here is the main slide of our webinar, that is identity versus role confusion, that begins from age 12 to age 18. This is one of the most important stages for adolescents, because this is a rebellious stage, a confusing as well as aggressive stage. Because in this stage, they are just guided by the new hormones, because they themselves are confused by their psychological changes, physiological changes, and any kind of changes they can happen that can be happen in their body. So their big question that arises in their mind, that is, who am I? So students begin exploring their friendship, their career options, their values, their interests, and future goals. Many parents become worried when children suddenly change their interest. But according to Erickson, this exploration is completely normal. Students are trying to discover themselves, but lacking the support of family and the society towards their belief and faith, leading to build the role of confusion. So for teachers, please avoid labeling the students. Instead of saying you are weak, say you haven't mastered it yet. Okay, you are on the way to progress. Because small words create a huge difference. And for parents, instead of asking, why are you like this? Why are you behaving like this? What happened to you? Ask, what are you feeling? Because communication is more powerful than criticism. And for especially for our students, it is perfectly okay if you haven't figured out your future yet, because it is actually on the way. You are on the way to succeed. So keep learning, keep exploring, because your identity develops gradually. You can see the slide. You all must be thinking that why I'm talking about these stages, whereas our topic is about child psychosocial journey and its development. Although these stages focus on adults, they are still important for educational institution, because being a child, it is not just about to play, to eat, or to study. It is about respecting the elders and their ages and their experiences. If I'm talking about elders inside the educational institution, the only elders we can find, that is our teachers, and the teachers are actually in the stage of generativity. This means the generativity means contributing to the next generation. Teaching is much more than the completing the syllabuses. Okay, so their every encouraging word, every smile, every appreciation can influence a student's future. Parents also play this role. So the value we teach today become the tomorrow's society. If we can see this slide summarizes why erection theory is so valuable. This theory teaches us that children do not grow alone. Their development depends on everyone around them. So parents provide emotional security, teachers develop confidence and competence, and students gradually build their identity. Uh, Talking about the importance of educational institution in regarding in this concept, so students should create their confidence. The school should create the safe classroom. Teachers should encourage the participation instead of punishment, and the students should feel respected. Parents and teachers should work together rather than blaming each other. When school and home cooperate, children experience healthy psychosocial development. So, this theory reminds us that education is not only academic success. True education develops emotionally healthy, socially responsible, and confident human beings. Hmm. Now, I would like to make this session a little bit interactive. Request everyone, especially parents, to participate. There are no right or wrong answer. There is simply a moment of reflection only. So, I would like you all to think and just say, which stage do you think your child is currently experiencing, and what changes have you noticed recently? We all must be thinking that okay, my child is in because my child is studying in UKG or LKG or nursery or grade 1 or any stage or any grade, so he must be in its industry versus inferiority stage, or because my child is reading in grade 10 or 11 or 8 or 7, so he must be in the stage of identity versus role confusion. So it's the responsibility of our parent to treat them well and to give sufficient love and care and value to their responses. And the second question I would like to ask, and made you think about your own childhood. Was there a teacher or a parent who changed your life? Or if the answer is yes, then what exactly did they do? I guess they must have supported you, they must have encouraged you, or they must have helped you to grow in your life. Okay. And the next question that I would like to ask you, that is, what is the one small thing you can do to help your child to grow emotionally? I guess the answers may be listening without interrupting, maybe appreciating their efforts, maybe spending quality time, maybe allowing your child to make small decision independently. So these are the examples that shows that small action create lifelong impact. So coming to my last slide, I know the PPT is very small, but I try to sum up it very quickly. So as we come to the end of the today's seminar, I would like you to leave with one important message, that is every child is different. Every child develops at a different pace. Our responsibility is not to force development, but to support it. As a teacher, let us create classrooms where children feel confident. As parents, let us create
Thank you very much.
where students, where children feel accepted. As students, let's keep learning, let's keep asking questions, and never be afraid of making mistakes. Because do you know? Because failures are the pillar to success, and because development never stops. So, in every stage is an opportunity to grow. And thank you for all for your valuable time and attention and participation. I truly appreciate your presence today. If anyone has question or would like to share their thoughts, I would be happy to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Subhakanchi, for
Yes,
that
ma'am.
insightful and thought-provoking session. Your reflections on childhood development, identity formation, emotional well-being, and the role of adults in nurturing young minds have certainly given us much to think about. The practical examples and developmental perspectives you shared today will undoubtedly help parents and educators better understand the needs of children at various stages of growth. I'm very sure every participant has taken away meaningful ideas that can be applied both at home and in educational settings. Now we are going to move into our interactive question and answer session. Participants may kindly type their questions in the chat box. We'll take up a few questions and invite Ms. Subhakanchi to share her valuable insights. There are some questions popping up in the chat box. Okay, so our first very question is going to be, at what age do children begin forming their identity?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. The question is, at what age do children begin forming their identity?
So, ma'am, as I discussed about the adolescent stage, it starts from age 12 to age 18. That is from grade 7 or 8 to grade 11 or 12. Okay, so from that age, they start questioning themselves, and they start forming their identity that, okay, I want to be this, I want to be that. Today I want to be a teacher. No and the day and the day sorry and the next day I want to be army. I want to be army person, I want to be a navy person, I want to be a housemaker maybe. So yes, ma'am, from 12 to 18 they just questioning themselves.
Okay. Thank you, Subhakanchi. Next question that one of the parent is asking, what do you think? How important is parental involvement in a child's psychosocial development? Where do the parents can place themselves in their development?
Okay, ma'am. I got a word from your question that is psychosocial. If I will break the word, that is psychological and social. So the social part includes their parents, and the psychological parts includes their brain only. So being a parent, they can help them by trusting them, by giving value them, and by respecting them and giving them opportunity to make their own decision, whether they're right or wrong. So that they can support it, and they can help them to move along with that.
Okay, so from your response, I'm getting one more question that I would like to ask personally.
Yes.
Do you think that, excessive dependence on parents affect the identity formation of the child?
Mm, kindly, yes, ma'am. I would like to give a agree statement to this, because support and guidance is okay. It is essential because children also need the opportunity to make decision. But extra interference of parents is also making a hurdle for the student, for the children, because they want that, okay, I want to feel that I am responsible for my choices. I am responsible for my any kind of decision. But I only want that. Okay, I want my parents to just support me. Yes, ma'am. So extra involvement of parents is also a little bit problematic.
Okay. So as parents, as adults, definitely we need to think how much is too much, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There should be a healthy independence.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So, coming back from parents to teachers, what do you think? How can teachers support children who struggle with confidence?
Because, ma'am, inside a classroom, a teacher can find three types of learners. One is fast learner, one is average learner, and the last one is slow learner. So a fast learner can be appreciated by everyone, and the average kind of learner, they can be also appreciated by most of the people, but the slow learner, they used to be criticized maximum by others. So being a teacher, it is their responsibility to support them and to appreciate their every kind of small efforts, because ma'am, scoring 90%, it is wow, but moving from 40% to 75%, we also should appreciate that much of growth. So being a teacher, we should appreciate their growth and their efforts.
Okay. I have also seen that inside the classroom, sometimes children, they constantly compare themselves with others. Do you think, is there any relation with, the topic that you discussed today and what is happening inside the classroom?
Yes ma'am, because comparison often starts from the insecurity among ourselves. Maybe I'm not good at a point, I'm not good at a thing, but my friend is good at a thing. So I start comparing myself with my friend, where we all are good friends. So yes, peers can also make us feel low, make us feel bad, but it is our peers responsibility also, or our responsibility also, to talk with our friends, like share our feelings to them, like I'm feeling this much, I'm feeling that much bad when I think this thing about you. So it is a shared responsibility to make feel each other safe with ourselves. So yes.
Okay. So since your topic talks about psychosocial development, and we
Yes.
are living, in the age of social media. So what do you think? How does social media influence a child's identity?
Ma'am, social media plays an important role in building their identity by helping them in different podcasts, by developing their critical thinking skills and maintaining a strong sense of self independency in the online validation. But still, it can shape the perception towards their thinking, towards their like beauty, their success, their self-worth. So it can hamper also, but it can make it fasten also. So the social media is in between the path, that it can help also, but sometime it can distract also.
Okay. So sometimes, when we have this PPM, Parents in Progress meet,
Yes.
parents come and they complain, ma'am, my child has so many friends inside the classroom. He is always distracted. I don't want him, to sit with his friends. He should focus on his studies. So do you think that, friendship also plays a different kind of role, particularly when it comes to psychosocial development of the child?
Yes, ma'am, definitely, because friends are the main parents that we can find inside the classroom. They can teach us empathy, they can teach us cooperation, they can teach us to be feel loved, they can teach us trust and communication. So yes ma'am, they, because there is a conflict arise among the among the friends, they can resolve there inside the classroom, or if the friend is unable to solve it, then they can take the help of the teachers around them. So it is a process of, like ma'am, being nurtured by the teachers, being nurtured by our friends inside the teaching environment and outside the teaching environment at our home. It is the sole responsibility of parents to be nurtured by.
Okay, so I think we were discussing, just some point before, that parents should know how much is too much, and there should not be too much of extra, interference by the parents.
Yes ma'am.
So one of our parent is asking how, as a parent, we can encourage independence in our children without losing the connection with them.
Ma'am, if a parent will allow their children, their child to encourage and to take decision and encourage the decision by without judging them and remain emotional, like availability should be there, but not that much that that the child can be so much dependent on their parents. Dependency is good, but it should be a healthy dependency. Yes, ma'am. So, like parents can foster independence while maintaining their strong relationships. Yes.
So, sometimes since this theory talks about psychosocial development, can you also talk about some of the warning signs that a child may be struggling with identity issues, but we are not able to figure it out?
Okay, ma'am. The early signs of this crisis that we can say, that identity issue, that it can be a low self-esteem, it can be excessive dependence on peer approval or parents, or sudden behavioral changes like sudden I will get angry, or mood swings will happen, or anxiety, or I will have a lack of self confidence. So these are the little but warning signs that a teacher and a parent should notice inside their child.
So, as an educator, how can I make sure that I'm balancing discipline as well as the emotional support that the children require inside the classroom?
Ma'am, as per my knowledge, discipline is itself a consistent thing, so effective discipline is rooted in understanding and consistency. So setting a clear expectation while maintaining the empathy, it helps the children learn responsibility without damaging their self-esteem and their self-confidence. So by making the consistent efforts, by enhancing their consistent effort, a teacher and a educator can balance this discipline.
Okay. Well said, Subhakanchi. Uh, One of the child is asking actually this question. Very interesting question. Is failure important in a child's development?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Because during my webinar, I just said that failure is the pillar of success. Unless and until I fail, I will not get to know that okay, I'm doing anything. I'm doing something. Because if we if I will not learn what I don't know, then I cannot be more than I am now. So yes, I will do, or yes, a child should do different things. He should get failed so that he can learn from his mistake, and then only he or she can grow. So yes, I will definitely say that failure is a must thing in our life.
Okay. So just, one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a parent, right? I definitely want my child to build a very healthy identity without much of my interference. So, what is the most important thing that I can do as an adult, that I can do as a parent, to make sure that my child is developing a very healthy kind of an identity?
Ma'am, if I will talk about you, then if you are giving that much of opportunity to your child by to make decision and to make choices, or if you are making that child to be feel loved and respected and valued, then only, ma'am, you are doing a great job with your child.
Thank you so much, Subhakanchi. So, as we conclude today's webinar, let us remember that every child is on a unique journey of growth and self discovery. From dependence to identity, each stage brings opportunities, challenges, and invaluable lessons. As parents and educators, our role is not merely to prepare children for examinations, but to help them become emotionally secure, socially responsible, and confident individuals. When children feel understood, respected, supported, they develop the courage to become their authentic selves. And that's what matters. So, on behalf of Rockwoods International School and Rockwoods Junior College, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Subhakanchi Priyadarshini for sharing her expertise and valuable insights with us this evening. I also thank all our participants for their enthusiastic presence and engagement. Do stay connected with Rockwoods for many more meaningful and inspiring learning experiences. Until then, let us continue to nurture not only intelligent minds, but also compassionate hearts and confident identities. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.